Okay, ready for class? All right. Did y'all do your homework? Yes, no? Everything went all right? Okay, we're gonna go forward with the lesson then. So does anybody know what this is? Formulas from geometry. We're gonna talk about three areas that we're gonna break down. First one is perimeter. The second is area. And the third is volume. Okay, so the first one we're gonna focus on is perimeter. Perimeter, what does that look like to you? What do you think that is? Student making a comment right now out of the camera. Okay, good. Anything else to add? So it's addition, right? So perimeter, you have the measurement of a square or a surface. So for example, 15 feet on one end on the length, and then the width is 10. And then the other length is 15, the other width is 10. And you add all of those together, the length and the width, all the four lengths and widths, and you get the perimeter. So let's say, for example, how one might use it in a daily life. Say for a farm, how would a farm be able to use perimeter? Okay, good, fencing. Let's use that as an example. So a farm, you'd want to measure how much space and how much fencing you need for that space. And you decide, I need this much fencing, and you go to the store and you're able to know exactly how much fencing to buy to cover that space. It's a great example. So area, can you use area in this example? No, exactly. So perimeter would be the best situation for this if you want to know how much fencing to buy for this farm. So then area, what would you use area for? Okay, good. Carpet. That's going to be the sign that you use for area. So if you have a space that you need to cover that entire space, that would be area. You need to know what that entire space would be. Any other examples that would be that you could use area for? Okay, perfect. Planting, a garden. You need to know how much space and how many seeds to buy. So you need to know what the measurements of that space are. Okay, yeah, that's another examples. Using tiles, how many tiles could cover an exact space. So those are all examples of area. Good job, good students. Yeah, that's another example, a roof or an attic, knowing how much space would be in that roof area. Okay, now what about volume? What would you use volume for? Exactly, a box of something, of anything. You calculate the length plus times the width and the height. You could use like a milk carton or anything that you need to fill a box, really. Yes, perfect. Okay, so back to perimeter. There are two things that you need to know, width and length. So the width is how wide it is, and the length, or L, is how long it is. So width is going to be W and length is L, and that covers the space, the length and the width. There are two sides, and each of those sides, the lengths and the widths are going to be the same for this example exactly. So you add all of those sides together, all the lengths and the widths together, and all of that becomes the perimeter. Okay, so there are different ways to figure out the perimeter. The first way is what we just discussed. So you're going to have 2 times L plus 2 times W. 2L plus 2W. Do you guys know how to do that? Yes, generally. Okay, there are other ways to do this as well. You can do length, or L plus W plus W. Length plus width plus width. That's the exact same way you're going to get the same results. Okay, another example, good. So you have 2 open bracket length L plus width W end bracket. Good examples. Okay, moving on. Okay, right, so that's the perimeter. Now moving on to area. You're gonna need multiplication for this. Width times length. Are there any other ways? No, this is really the only way we can do this, huh? So there are 3 ways for perimeter, but area, there's just one way. You just gotta multiply the length and the width. So let's say, for example, this is the length and this is the width. So you got 5 feet for the length and 3 feet for the width. What's that going to be? 5 times 3, right, 15, exactly. So it's going to be 15 feet, but are we done yet? We're missing something, right? Exactly, we got to put to the power of 2, 15 foot squared. Do you know why we do that? So there are 2 of each side that we're putting in, the length and the width. So that's why we're going to put the power of 2. We're measuring 2 sides. So now the volume, we have the length and the width and the height. There's 3 things that we're going to multiply together. There's really no other way to do that, just those 3. So the length and the width, we multiply the 2. The perimeter, we add all the numbers together. Does anyone feel comfortable with, is that all clear so far? Okay, so we're going to do a couple of examples then. Okay, so let's find the perimeter of this square. What's the perimeter of this square? 16, right? General consensus. So how did you get that answer? You add it together, 10, 6. You get the 10s from the 2 lengths and 6 from the 2 widths, exactly. So that becomes 15 or 16 feet, right? Next, you're going to find the area. What's going to be the area of this? So you have 5 times 3, it's 15, So you're going to have 15 feet, and don't forget to put the square, the power of 2 up there, because you're multiplying 2 edges, the length and the width. Okay, good job. So now moving on to volume, you have a box here. We have 3 sides that we need to measure, the length or the height, the length or L. So what's going to be the number for the length that we're going to use here? We're going to substitute that L with the number 5 because that's the length, okay? The width, what's going to be that? 3, exactly. We're going to substitute 3. And then the height, we're going to substitute with 6. So substitution, that might be a new word for you, substitution. It's the same as like for like a basketball game, for example, and there happens to be a fight, and then the coach will call for a substitution of team members, a sub. And this is the same concept, it means the same thing. You're just replacing the letter with the number. So you're going to have 5 times 3 times 6. Good job. I know, yeah, you don't need a calculator for that. You can do that. So 5 times 3 and then is 15, and then adding it again. There you go, 90 centimeters. And then power of 3, why? Because we have the 3 edges, length, width, and height. Good job, you're such smart students. You don't need homework tonight, right?